Up next, there's always a lot of things to see and people to talk to out at Husker Harvest Days. During our time out at the show last week, we had the opportunity to sit down with two of the top leaders within the Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln to discuss how things have been going for IANR this year. Joining us on site out here at this year's Husker Harvest Days is the Vice Chancellor of the Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources, that is Mike Boehm. Also, the Dean of the Ag Research Division, Derek McLean, joining us. Gentlemen, great to have both of you here on Market Journal.
It's great to be here, Bryce.
Derek, I want to start with you. This is your first season, so to speak, in your role as the new Dean and Director, or I should just say Dean of the Ag Research Division. Saw you at quite a few field days across Nebraska. I want to get your thoughts, your observations as you did so this summer.
Yeah, it's just an amazing experience being able to interact with all of our stakeholders and just see how connected we can be and how much we are connected to the stakeholders and the producers in the state. We're right there helping them develop technology, new varieties, and understand where their issues are and help ways we can help them reach the gaps that they're facing, where those opportunities are.
Any particular fun stories you can share with us from your travels this past summer? I know you're out to quite a few different field days and a lot of different interactions.
Well, we had a great field day up at the Goodmanson Sandhills Research Laboratory. You know, being able to be out there in that beautiful location, in that setting. We took a group up there, spent the night. We were there at the field day the next day. Be able to go out, see the stars, wake up and see a couple hundred people already there at 8 a.m., knowing that those stakeholders are going to be hearing these amazing things and getting a lot of information they need to know to help their production system.
Mike, we'll pivot our conversation over to you. This is not your first Husker Harvest Days, but it's always fun to be out and about, isn't it?
It's amazing to be out, no question. You get your steps in at Husker Harvest Days.
Saw you at the Goodmanson Sandhills Laboratory. Derek brought that up. And to that point, I thought it was interesting. You were talking about your directive to, I suppose yourself, but also the folks that you oversee, Derek included. You want them out across the state of Nebraska, being there, having a presence. Expand on that thought that you shared.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're spot on, right? We serve the people of Nebraska, and so in order to do that, you have to be outside of Lincoln. And I just don't know any way to lead except A, by example, and B, to engage, right? So, you know, I think in the office we're now keeping kind of score on who's driving the most miles a week. I'm happy to say that Derek and Charlie are definitely beating me here, but the point there is we're out and about engaging people in the communities, on their farms, their ranches, their businesses, and yeah, it's worth its weight in gold. And I can't tell you, Bryce, from December of 2016 when I first made the trek and saw the Sandhills for the first time, and stopped right there at Highway 2 and 61 where that little quick stop is, met a person right there, didn't even go to the university, but she knew about the role the university played in her life. And I mean, she got choked up when she told me about this. And so, you know, just being able to get out, I think we're now asking who lives down that lane. When you see the ranch families on the big sign, we're making those trips. We're seeing parts of Nebraska that I'm pretty certain that we haven't seen in a bit. And I appreciate partners like Derek and Charlie and Tiffany, Sherry Jones, that are actually getting out there. And it doesn't stop with them. Our department heads, for example, we had 5 new department heads all over the state visiting high schools last week. Just really taking our responsibility to engage seriously.
Back at the Bull sign, the Bull Ranch signs, I suppose, the ranch signs in general. There's some creative ones out there. It's always fun to see those.
There's some great ones. I gotta give a shout out to Brownlee, the town of Brownlee, right there on the Brownlee cut-through road. When you go, they've got a homemade sign that says, "Welcome to Brownlee, population 15 or so." I love that
Depends on the
sign.
day.
There we go. Depends if someone's traveling,
Yeah.
right?
I want to stay with you, Mike. This is the first time we've had a chance to visit since enrollment numbers came out from the university's perspective. System-wide, looks like things are holding steady. What do you want to share with us from the College of Ag as well as NCTA?
Yeah, well, thanks to everyone who's entrusting Kasner with your youth, right? The future of Nebraska and actually the world. Our first-time first-time freshmen, all-time high. First-time Nebraska freshmen. We had a record last year and we set that record again. Our total enrollment just a little bit lower than we'd like, but by and large, I think people are coming back. Bryce, surprising how much COVID impacted folks. Our global engagement is still down. So, you know, I guess I would say the good news is that we're getting close to our record-setting entry classes and our total enrollment, while our global enrollment is still low. So I expect that will turn around here in the coming months and coming years rather. And so I think we're in a good spot. Kudos to Tiffany Hangmoss, Sue Ellen Pegg, and the whole team there, and Larry Gosen over at NCTA. They're really working hard, and can't, you know, it not only is a value-driven thing, but it is an opportunity to make a difference in agriculture and natural resources, and of course, that's really at the heart of Nebraska.
Derek, want to bring this conversation back to where we began, your travels across the state of Nebraska. Curious your thoughts on opportunities you see for the Ag Research Division. Mike talks about things changing with COVID. Has COVID reimagined some of the research things happening? Your thoughts on that and the direction where we're headed?
Yeah, I think we're seeing this increase in our attendance at our field days. I know there was a dip and there was a challenge there, and I think that's an opportunity for all of us to understand the technology and to see where we're pushing the envelope in precision ag and digital ag, sustainable ag. And we have this great on-farm research network and research group that's working together, and hundreds of partners across the state. I'm seeing more of that. That's going to be growing post-COVID. We want to push that outside of the boundaries of Nebraska while we keep this strong foundation here. So we're excited about all those different directions. We had a great field day at West Central in North Platte. We had a great field day out in Scotts Bluff at our Panhandle Research Station. We're just looking forward to the future and continuing to work with our stakeholders.